Not sure what happened to my intro here, but either way, I successfully got the trailer moved out to my dad's house, and we got busy right away taking those plywood off the deck just to get a good look at what the boards look like or what it was going to take for us to get them removed off of there. And to our surprise, I mean, that plywood he did put on there was pretty new. It doesn't look that good because it wasn't treated and it's been out in the weather, but the plywood was pretty good condition. But we really just wanted to replace the floor planks on there just to get a trailer like a more original look. That's really my style. So I'm trying to do my best here, help my dad out, and get the boards off of there so we can get a good look at those 2x6s. And you can kind of tell just from looking at it from this angle that they was in pretty rough shape. But yeah, so we got that off and then evaluated it and then started to come up with a plan to get those 2x6s off of there. So I'm gonna speed this portion up. So we got most of this plywood off the top of it. We got to get these screws out of here. I actually didn't know that this was screwed down like this. I thought the wood was just pressed in there, but slowly but surely we'll get it gone. So now we run into another issue where you can see that these bolts been in here probably as old as this trailer is. So we ain't able to get them out either by breaking them off or breaking the bits. So we're gonna switch to an alternative method to getting this wood off of here, and by cutting it, sawing it in half, and then breaking it off of there, then grinding those bolts off. So my dad went to go get the chainsaw. We'll get started on that, and I'll check back in. Started using a grinding wheel here to try to cut some of the screws off, but realized that it was taking way too long, one, to cut them off, and I wasn't able to get as close to the frame rails as I would like to in order to make placing the wood easier. Actually, it would actually make the job a whole lot harder down the line, because we would have to do a whole lot more grinding by using the grinding wheel at this time. So we're gonna have to switch things up. And so that was taking entirely too long. So we realized after a while that the bolts was just so rusted that it wasn't really necessary to grind them off. And my dad suggested just going to get a hammer and just knocking them off, because even as we was lifting up the wood, the screws was just breaking off for the most part anyways, and grinding them was leaving too much of a stub left over that we would have to smooth out before we would be able to put the boards up back on. So my dad left, he went to go grab a hammer, and I was trying to catch my breath because pulling all those boards off of there was actually a whole lot of work, but I started to just knocking them off. And then we're gonna get a grinder and then use a lap belt on it just to just smooth those heads off of those screws. So I'll just speed this up a little bit, and then I'll check back in with you guys once we get done. All right, so here's the finished product after we removed all the screws and then ground all of those heads down. Now we're just getting ready to get the frame prepped so we can begin laying 2x6s down and getting them secured to the trailer. Stay tuned.
We did a lot of work behind the scenes that I didn't record, but just to get you guys caught up and up to speed, we pretty much got the whole deck replaced, and it worked out perfectly for us to put these 2x6s in, and we didn't even have to split any. So we just got I think 12 2x6s across the deck all the way up. And right now I'm just working, looking at this trailer wire. So the previous owner installed these trailer lights on it and disconnected the trailer lights in the back, and then also some of the running lights that go to it. But if you know my style, it's OEM plus. So although I do appreciate that he installed those new lights, I got to put the old ones back up and get them running. So I'm gonna get to working on that, and then
looks like I might have skipped a step or two, but pretty much you could tell from the video, I started wiring up the brake lights and the running lights, and then I moved on to installing those lights on the fenders there. And then my dad got back, and we started cutting the wood for that back part. And that back part is kind of tricky because you can't move the boards. You can't bend the boards like we did with the front ones to put them in because they're so short. So you kind of have to like put them in at an angle, cut them to the right size, put them in at an angle, and then beat them over like you're seeing my dad do right now. So he did the first one for me just to make sure we had the measurements right. And then after he did that, then I'm gonna jump on the saw, start cutting up the rest of the pieces, and then I'm gonna take over for him and hammer the rest of those boards in on the tail end.
y'all cuties doing?
And that'll just about do it for this part of the video. Unfortunately, we ran out of time and the rain was coming in, and I had to get back to Arkansas. So stay tuned, there's still more to be done on the trailer. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.